Welcome everyone to another breaking news live stream. Oops, we did it again. We further improved our tiny little Linux distribution, that is T2. For those who are new to this channel, we do Linux for 25 years, and otherwise I'm known for desktop rock Linux 25 years ago and the embedded Linux distribution, that is T2, that many successful embedded projects use for their SBC, embedded board, firmware goodness. But what if we took an amazing cross-compiling embedded distribution, build system, reproducible, all CPUs like unmatched RISC-V desktop, and Itanium supporting Linux distribution, and made all of the desktop Linux stuff work? May I present to you T2 upcoming, released in some days, 24.6. What do you do if all your embedded stuff works and your to-do is down to 600 lines? You make the Linux desktop work. And so the last decade, I mean, not only did I abandon the Linux desktop because nothing was really amazing, but like, what if we took an amazing Linux distribution and just made the Linux desktop work? Previous builds of T2 for a decade had always some icons missing, some little glitches and stuff. What if someone would full-time fix all the small things, all the little things, like icons and stuff, and ship it also with Windows compatibility? That's what we did here, right? So what did we do the last weeks live on Twitch? We fixed every small issue we could find. We added, previously we shipped Firefox, of course, right? What if we made everything just work for normal users? You like the Firefox browser, right? Now we also ship with an email client. Where is it even? Probably somewhere. Now we also ship with Thunderbird for all your professional email stuff. And we didn't stop there. LibreOffice. What if we made a Linux distribution that would just work for everyone at home and at business, right? LibreOffice. And this is cross-compiled. So the amazing things, of course, other Linux distributions have LibreOffice and stuff. But T2 24.6 will deliver this in a minimal, polished, reproducible, cross-compiling build environment that also supports other necessities for gracious living, like quantum effect, MIPS, computers, and Itanium. Because we can cross-compile it for Itanium and RISC-V, like LibreOffice, right? So all those things here that you see here on the highest performance, high-end desktop works the same on PS3, PowerPC, and Itanium Linux. They said it's unmaintainable, but of course it works on Itanium. And we didn't stop there. Like, what if, I mean, of course, it's Steam Deck, right? Like, what if we copy Valve's SteamOS and just go into our downloads and have a Windows application and ship it with cross-compiled Wine, so that you could just run your Windows executables straight from your just 1.5 gigabyte, minimal, just amazingly polished T2 desktop Linux, and game with that, right? So that's a Windows application. It's just our own Windows application, but of course, like Windows gaming. I mean, of course, you can click on this somewhere. Where am I? All right, this is probably somewhere here. So that will not run amazingly, but yeah, it works in general. It works. Just like this QXL stuff. What is that even? Ah, this is just here. So yeah, Windows gaming, straight from your T2 minimal ISO thing. Just like the latest Wine version doesn't work like on real hardware that comes from. I knew that will not work. It worked the other week, like, yeah, latest Mesa version, of course. So yeah, T2 24.6, just like that. Oops, we did it again. We do desktop Linux. Because not only do I need my desktop, why do we do this? I mean, because we can. And it just cross-compiled showcasing the outstanding T2 build system quality. Because we can, and it's the next big things, right? And we will probably not stop there. We will continue polishing it. We added some attention to detail. We now ship like with some T2 branded desktop. We even patch some aesthetic tiny little things to look nicer by default, like XFCE's transparent terminal by default. So that is basically a welcome to 2024, and why 2024 will not be like 1984, especially with all the AI and data collection, Apple and Microsoft AI and telemetry overload, right? A telemetry-free, AI-free, just working, minimal. And which other Linux distribution has all of this, not only cross-compiled for PowerPC, ARM, RISC-V, MIPS, and Itanium, but even in just 1.5 gigabyte. Earlier today, I wanted to download Cubes OS for some testing, and I was shocked that the download was 6 freaking gigabytes. Hey, this download is 1.5 freaking gigabyte, and you can pre-test this. Don't delay. Pre-test this release candidate today. Here, 1.5 freaking gigabyte with Windows compatibility built in. And that is just the beginning. Embedded stuff, nearly complete. A company promised me an epic thread-ripping RISC-V desktop. Maybe it arrives the next weeks. So we will continue with RISC-V with Itanium. And now we can game on T2. And the difference is because previously people said, yeah, but this T2 Linux nobody knows because it's embedded. Like, hey, have you tried amazingly polished T2 Linux on your desktop? And you don't even, because previously they said, it's too difficult. Who wants to cd user source T2? By the way, is it probably up to date, right? Nearly up to date. Like, who wants to emerge wine when it comes pre-built and you can just run your Windows games? Of course, we still have even more polishing to do. A little bit Vulkan, a little bit Proton, a little bit probably next Chromium. But when we started 5 years ago live here on YouTube and Twitch, the desktop T2 was up and done. Of course, it took 7 hours 5 years ago to update all of KDE and 6 hours to update most of GNOME, and recently another 40 hours to make most of KDE and GNOME work again. If you ask, yeah, but this XFCE is too minimal. First of all, KDE and GNOME, I am still not liking it the most, but hey, we spent probably 1,000 hours over the last 5 years to fix most of KDE and GNOME, so of course you can emerge most of KDE and GNOME with T2 for that long. But now you don't need to. Now I can write my local government and say, hey, we have some operating system to give away for free. You don't need to continue spending your money. You can just install T2 Linux for your e-government stuff and have LibreOffice. Standard conforming ISO, standard conforming LibreOffice. And of course, that's just for me, if you like it or not. I can now game and I can now Office. And obviously we will be rolling this out throughout our company and will delete our last use of macOS here at Exacode because now we have our own desktop Linux. Yeah, so of course I'm selfish, so that is just for me. I finally, like a decade later, I'm done with macOS. I never used Windows. Those bloat and peak bugs are not for me. I fixed them all myself, and now we can do business on T2 Linux. And so can you. I hope you enjoy this and learn something. I hope you enjoy this on your PS3, on your SJ Octane, and maybe send us a letter and send us a patch. Leave in the comments below what you find. Of course, people say, but installation, yes, installation is still textual, so probably we are coming for the installation. In my opinion, pressing enter 20 times for the installation, like yes, yes, install, wipe the disk because I don't need Windows anymore. Yes, yes, install, yes, yes, that's fine. Yes, there are still some small polishing to do, but man, of course, Thunderbird is a small thing that's just Firefox with email. Wine was a bigger thing, like we are cross-compiling this, right? Like for those, yes, other Linux distributions have that too, but we cross-compile it. LibreOffice, like who else wants to build LibreOffice on a quad core with 1.4 gigahertz RISC-V? Certainly not me. And of course, as seen on Twitch, it's hundreds of small tweaks and fixes. As packaging new, like in 1 month, new packages since the last release. Freehand, WordPerfect, whatnot, libraries for import filters of LibreOffice and making them cross-compile and making LibreOffice cross-compile and not delete your this root, thanks LibreOffice, and making it actually find and use a system boost and so on. That also means by default T2 now comes with more libraries and boost. So even if you don't need LibreOffice or Wine, but still scientific applications, T2 now comes with cross-compiled boost, the C++ standard library. And that is also why the download, yes, the download is significantly larger now, some 300 plus megabyte larger for Thunderbird, Wine, Boost, and LibreOffice and a handful of libraries. But it's worth it, because that is the difference, right? Like, what if someone developed Linux like macOS before they broke it? Welcome to 2024 and why it ain't 1984 anymore. And with some little bit more polishing, maybe we make some installer nicer, maybe we make some login manager login by default. And of course, we did the same polishing. Of course, you don't need XFCE if you want. Or did I start this here? Of course, you can also just run Sway or any other Wayland stuff. And yes, we patched it to a T2 desktop as well, just so that it looks nicer. And yes, exit. And yes, you can, of course, run a login manager. And we even went an extra effort to make this color selection work. So for all this other default screen, yes, we are talking backgrounds, just like Steve Jobs' keynote. Hey, look at our shiny new backgrounds for shiny new macOS. It does the same as last year, but now has new live backgrounds. Our T2 background is color editable, so if you don't like our default deep purple, you can, just configure it. Also, I did this wrong now, but whatever. It's the only XFCE default desktop that is as scalable vector graphics transparent for this additional color choice to work. A nice little touch for people who love their T2 desktop. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and learned something, where you can download the best free, independent, fully cross-compiling and reproducible building Linux distribution from t2sde.org. And I think if I make it any better, you soon really can't afford it anymore. And maybe we are getting somewhere, like maybe we are breaking the internet with it actually working, coming live to you. Maybe soon. Let's see. Will we break the internet with an actually working desktop Linux? Will 2024 actually be the year of desktop Linux? Let's quickly check the comments and keep it otherwise short. Probably more discussion live on our Twitch channel here over at Twitch for more live development while our YouTube channel is working. Good evening, anyone. Lots of appreciation for what you're doing. Happy to hear that. Could you set a bin format MISC to execute apps without explicitly calling Wine? Yes, you could. We should set this up. And probably you could do this in your desktop Finder thing. This is the kind of things to probably look into next. Probably that is a launching application. So like making your launcher, your desktop file manager thing, map the MIME type of executables to, like, you don't need bin format MISC for that. Just the only thing you need is your file manager. I tried this actually I was surprised it didn't just work, but that is, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. That is the stuff we will be looking in next. Actually, I wanted to change the color. Transparent, no, I wanted a, oops. All right, you know what? I have a really urgent to-do to add to my to-do. Hey, ship default T2 wallpaper, we have done that. We have done that too. And, we have, you know what? We actually got some of our 666 to-dos worked on. Make XFCE, launch wine, and fix strange QEMO IO QXL by double event stuff, whatever heck is going on there. I constantly forget about this. So, oops, done. There, that, and there, that. And so the default is slightly cooler. So you probably don't want to change the default because, you get the idea. So probably the default looks slightly nicer. But that's, what did I want to say? All right, I wanted to test which filer. Like, look at this beauty, like 2024. Who would have thought that 2024 is a year of T2 desktop Linux? Downloads, recompress executable. So yeah, this doesn't launch. Yeah, so all we needed to do is map this to, also you want obviously create an account, right? Like I'm just testing. So yeah, I'm also surprised this doesn't work. Open with like wine installer program launcher, like does this, hey, then it works. Does it remember that? I'm not sure. Yeah, usability, set default application. Wine program, wait, it is a default application already. Why does it not launch that? Yeah, maybe it's just one MIME type mapping away, not really, there's execute. What? Why does this not? Maybe execute is, it's a little bit strange. I probably shouldn't try this out live on YouTube. I mean, it should work, but somehow doesn't. It's just one patch away. Good enough for me. Now I can finally game and run my business like I did 15 years ago, finally back on T2 desktop Linux. Good to see after some long time. Yeah, so I daily live stream on Twitch, right? Because the YouTube algorithm is promoting our amazing advertising videos. And probably don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I probably sooner than later will record and edit a video like an Apple keynote presenting our Linux distribution. You certainly don't want to miss that. Someone wants to donate $1,000. That would be really nice if you do so. I've heard that before, so please also do. And words are cheap. Real money is the real deal. Greetings to India. Minimal is always better than, almost always better than bloated. Oh, and one more thing. It was reported on GitHub because obviously with all my YouTube and Twitch promotion, more and more people try T2 Linux and send patches and report issues. It was reported that our minimal installation that we had, but I never had used, didn't install the most perfect. I also fixed that too, and while at it, I actually added a minimal Xorg selection. So, this is also wrong. So that's still our installer, that didn't change. I like it, but I guess to make it even more comfortable for home users, maybe we need it fully graphical. Okay, we can't. Maybe we can. Yes, we can. So previously, we always had this for 20 years, and previously the minimalistic system didn't install the most, it did install minimal, but it wasn't fully working. I fixed that, and while at it, I added minimalistic system with Xorg. So if you don't want Wine and you don't want LibreOffice, or you just want cloud orchestration and run this in virtualization and servers and stuff, you have now this fully working choices for minimalistic with or without Xorg 2. And Python variants to make things a bit easier by default, but we talked about this on Discord. So the issue with that is I initially earlier shipped Python, we can mostly cross-compile it. The thing is, we want to support all architectures from ARM to RISC-V, reproducibly cross-compiling those on a highest end epic thread mapping system. And Python doesn't fully cross-compile, right? Like if you want Python, like I spent way too much time on making Python as cross-compiling as it does, we will ship Python by default. I mean, it's also like, it's not a big issue, right? Like you just like install, and like if you don't have a potato of a computer, it's just, all right, I had Python installed actually. But also probably you want to see it graphical, right? Obviously in a real machine it starts with a proper video mode. I don't know why this virtualization stack, like probably, you know what, also, all right, this is here. Yeah, my to-do is like I fixed a dozen things and I add a dozen things. So like, why is my to-do constantly at 666 to-dos? Because software is cursed and I fix already stuff 40 plus hours a week. It's like, I need basically clone myself. Make QXL Word IO stuff mode set better by default. I don't know what's, I mean, maybe it's not possible, like maybe it's just like, I don't know what, but yeah. But for Python, in my opinion, it's because the next person wants Perl, the next person wants PHP, and so on, right? So yeah, but just emerge Python, right? It's not a big issue, right? Like just, it's probably, I mean, it's not 8 seconds, probably our build time estimate is off there for reasons, but it's like even, I don't know, like even an Itanium will build this in like 2 minutes or 3 or whatnot. So it's not, and then you have it highly optimized for your high performance RISC processor. Which distribution do you use, sir? It's literally in the title and all the time now in the background. It's T2 just working Linux. You can get the Discord link by making a one-time donation via GitHub. Yep, $1 for the tip jar of coffee is highly appreciated. Isn't Boost like really big? Yes, unfortunately, and we cross-compiled it. Also was also cursed. Also spent an hour or so, half an hour of fixing that. Yes, that is why I make this video. It's not we do stuff here, right? We fix stuff. We even make xrender better because it's like, yeah, 40 seconds. But yes, it's a virtualization KVM virtualization overhead. Also, by the way, I'm live streaming from T2 Linux from a Steam Deck. Like it's so optimized. It can live stream in full HD with 30 FPS with 4% CPU load on a Steam Deck. And of course, on the server and in the VM, T2 just working T2 Linux. And we even tweak stuff to work better by default because on any other Linux system, if you run xrender with mode settings, this will not work. Because otherwise you need to specify the output, and that is too annoying for me. And yes, you can do this with graphic. I'm only saying we take care of all the attention to detail, and even like LVM2 defaults are better because we display the type by default and stuff like, so everything that is annoying on Linux, we improve and make it work on RISC and Big Endian because necessities for desktop Linux living. And now with Windows subsystem for Linux compatibility that is called Wine, so that you can run all the other old stuff that you have or some game. What else do we have here? So it's probably basically it. Don't delay, switch to T2 Linux today. Send a patch or buy me a coffee. I hope you enjoy this. It is free. We don't take your telemetry and we don't try on our AI with that. We just need a working embedded Linux and working desktop, and because nobody else is doing it for me, I do it for me myself, and we share it with the world. Kinda new, but does this Linux look different compared to other OSs? I have Arch with and have looking at this for a while. What makes it interesting? Interesting is that it's cross-compiling, supporting all CPUs, not some, all. And when I mean all CPUs, I mean all CPUs, including like Itanium and SGI MIP64. And what makes it so interesting is that you can run it on anything, including RISC-64. You can cross-compile. You don't need to compile. Like, do you know that Debian compiles all their stuff on slow machines? And do you know that Debian abandons all their old architectures like Alpha and Itanium because they don't have fast enough build machines? NT2 just like that tip of a finger, snap of a fingertip, cross-compiles this for any CPU architectures. Yes, there are other build root and open embedded, but hey, can open embedded cross-compile a whole desktop Linux with Windows compatibility and LibreOffice? So it's basically the last Linux distribution you'll ever need. And now we get into desktop Linux because embedded, basically we already have embedded covered since years. And now I need a Linux desktop. And here it is. And I guess that's enough for today. Microsoft has such a great possibility to name Windows subsystem for Linux some alcohol during wine, but they lost it. Codebeast, so glad cleaned up Linux on the way. Do you use a custom kernel? Well, we have some 60 patches because we restore Itanium, we restore Airport, we restore some other PCMA drivers, we fix some other broken things, we fix some typos, we fix some crashes, regressions, we patch in SG Octane, we fix the SGO2 frame buffer. Did I mention PS3? Yeah, we use upstream 26691 with PS3 and Itanium enablement, and like everything that was broken on my 30 systems is fixed. So it's just fixed Linux. And I hope you enjoy this. That's it for the video. As usual, a little bit longer talking at the end, answering questions. If you have more, don't delay, ask on Discord. And you know the website and Discord you find here on Patreon. And I hope you enjoy this. Have fun with that over the weekend. Patches welcome. Don't forget to select, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon for the year of the Linux desktop to come. Side question. What do I think about the Windows recall function? I think we discuss this probably tomorrow on my more main channel here on YouTube because it deserves another video. And see you next time.